Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage. We are doing a week in the life of. We've been doing these videos, seems to be pretty popular. Basically, we just show everything that happens in a week that doesn't normally make it on video. So we do our individual videos with project updates, picking all that stuff. This is all the stuff that goes on day to day that actually is kind of crazy and what keeps us really busy. So we're starting this week early actually. Today is Friday, the end of the week. We're starting it on Saturday tomorrow. We have the first annual Gasket Goons Hot Rod Bash. They put on a really great event in September that is a one-day show that brings something like 2,000 cars or something. It's a great time, more of a party than some other shows, which is more about the lifestyle and friends hanging out, which is really great. So they're putting on a show, McCungie Park, which is a local park that has a ton of car shows. We're really fortunate that it's about 30 minutes from me, and they have an antique car show, antique truck show, the Wheels of Time Street Rod, or Hot Rod Jamboree, which is really great and been going on forever, and now the Gasket Goon show, which should be really, really fun. So this show I'm looking forward to. A lot of my friends come out, and it's just a great time. I'm going to drive the stroll car out there and just really go and hang out and be a normal person. We're not vending or doing anything, and just catch up with friends and do stuff like that. So that's what we have going on. Sunday I got a antique car flea market at our local flea market that's going on, and we have a bunch of projects. We're trying to get the green Roadster. We just got the radiator in the end of this week. We got the radiator in, so we're going to start tackling that car. Just got that on the lift, and we're going to start working on that this week, and who knows what else. I have no idea what we're getting into, but we have a lot going on. We're going to take you along for a ride. So let's get started and head on over to the Gasket Goons for our first fun thing of this week.
Hey, good, how are you?
Up here.
Yeah. It says it's for sale. I don't think so.
All right, so Gasket Goons was a ton of fun. Perfect weather. I think they got, for their first year at this event, they got something like, I heard rumors of 1,200 to 1,800 cars. It was a great time. I don't know how many cars there was, but I had a ton of fun hanging out. Talking to friends, drove the stroll car. Nothing broke, which is nice for once, so that was a good time. Today, what we did this morning is my nephew and I and Kate went out to our local flea market. They have a bunch of different they have flea markets every Saturday, Sunday. They have themed flea markets throughout the summer. The theme this week on Sunday was car part swap meet, as well as the normal flea market. So we took a run out there. Evan and I, my nephew, took a run out in the Roadster. Steve moved the coil and put a new coil on the car. You might remember last week driving home from racing it. It broke down, and I thought it was a coil, and everything seemed fine. Well, driving to the event, right as we got there, it started missing and acting a little funny like it did when it broke down. Took a back way home, thank goodness, and Kate was kind of following up behind us, and the car started acting up and doing the same thing. It was missing a little bit and bucking, and then it got worse and worse till, boom, it shut off, no spark. Typical. So luckily the big red truck was empty, and I was able to go retrieve that. Kate gave us a ride back. Evan and I loaded the Roadster up in the truck, brought it back here, and I have the car in the garage. So I did a quick check with the spark tester again after letting it sit. Now it is getting no spark. When it happened last week, I let it sit overnight, and the thing got spark. I thought it was just the coil got overheated. Steve moved the coil here. We had it more in the center where it was right over the exhaust crossover, so we thought maybe that was why it happened. So we put a brand new coil on, mounted it further forward, away from everything, plenty of airflow. Same thing happened, and now, you know, I let it sit all day today, no spark. So I have a feeling that the Petronics died in this thing. I'm getting voltage everywhere I should. The ballast resistor is working, all that stuff. So I know a lot of people have feelings about Petronics setups. I have them in a bunch of my cars and have no problem, but this particular car might have, we don't know, it might have been the coil getting hot. So we're gonna have to deal with that this week because I want to get it on the road and not be messing with this thing. This engine is pretty tired. It's burning a bunch of oil. I just want to get it through the summer, and then we're going to probably go back through it and do some upgrades. But we just kind of put this thing together with an engine we had laying around. We have better engines now, so I'm just going to try and keep it together and drive it and have fun this summer with it before we tear into it. We'll see. But that's what's going on with that. Got the green Roadster on the lift. I'm going to start on exhaust. Tomorrow's Monday, so I'm going to be starting on the dual exhaust on this thing. I actually got another set of headers for this car. So I ended up denting in the other headers because they were not made for a 32 and didn't fit. And I hated it. I didn't like doing that. It got us so that we could get the video done and get the car started. But I ended up going to Red's headers. I think it was Red's. I don't remember who I got these from. But I got these headers. These are 32 specific headers. Painted them with the header paint. And we also got our new radiator, local radiator shop, Dick's Radiator. We got this in, and it's original tanks. I gave him an original V8 radiator. He recorded it, and I think it's really cool when you have original tanks in a radiator rather than an aftermarket one where it's just smooth sheet metal. Just a nerdy little thing I like to do. I think this car being 99% Henry steel, an original, you know, type car, I think it's important to try and keep those pieces. So Steve's gonna work on swapping out the B radiator, button up some of the wiring, and getting the cooling system buttoned up, and hopefully by the end of the week we can take some hot laps around the block with the flathead V8 and some dual exhaust in this car. So got a lot going on. We're gonna get busy for this week and hopefully get this Roadster that is being a little bit of a pain in the butt back on the road so I can keep driving it and having fun.
What's up, guys? It is Tuesday. We're here at the warehouse. Been hard at work. Ryan, the younger kid that's been helping us a little bit in the background of videos, he's gonna be working for us part-time this summer. It was his first week here. Got a ton of stuff done. So he's been helping me wrap up some stuff and just get it off to the side. So we're ready to move it, label pallets. He's in the middle of magazine madness right now, sorting all of our various magazines we've gotten over the years, the newer quote-unquote stuff, 70s to now. I had him sort all of it by publication, and we're gonna list it up for sale in groups, large quantities to get it out there. But we are making this space look empty. We're stacking everything, rearranging it, moving stuff along, trying to organize because we are getting ready for concrete. The work is being started for the pad, you know, doing the rebar, tarping, that kind of stuff. So I gotta be on my game to be ahead. So what we're gonna work on today a little bit is we're gonna work on getting some of this racking down. We need this section, this end upright, so we have to take this section down, and this whole row here. So the building is 60 feet long. We're gonna have 5 sections roughly at like 55 feet long. I was able to grab some different uprights from our local junkyard Glicks. This style that we were given is kind of hard to come by. We actually have 3 different styles, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But downstairs I have another 60 or 70 of these crossbars. So all the ones that are up here, plus another 60 downstairs. So I was able to find more uprights. They're unfortunately all different widths, but it'll work for our space. So this is one whole row here, plus this upright. There's 2 uprights here, which are the narrowest, but there's also 2 more at the shop. And then I have to buy a whole nother row at Glicks. And then this style here is like a teardrop style, it's called. That is gonna be another style we're using. So I got a lot of stuff to do. We gotta work on getting some of this stuff down. I'm pretty much going to not touch any of this here. This is all gonna stay till the end. Then we'll move some of that, and basically this down is gonna stay as well, just cause I gotta get racking up before we pack this up and move it, because we're still gonna be shipping parts in between. This stuff we're gonna use, I think, around the outside edge of the mezzanine to give us more shelf space. So there's just a lot of stuff to move and break down. So Ryan and I are gonna get to work, moving pallets, getting stuff down and organizing. We got there's a lot of big body panels over there. So we got to move some stuff. I'm also gonna take everything down, photograph it to list, to double check that it's on eBay, just because sometimes when one sells, I forget to pull a second one down to photograph. So make sure it is all listed, and then I'm also gonna relist stuff on Instagram and Facebook for a little bit lower of a price to try and move some of this big stuff out of our way. So got a lot of stuff to move today, so let's get to work.
All right, so Steve was trying to get ahead while we had a bunch of visitors yesterday, and I didn't get very far in the exhaust. But this is where I got what I think I'm doing, because on this car we utilized the original battery tray. So the battery is right where I would normally run the exhaust inside the frame. So I thought we will, typical of what you saw with old hot rods, guys would have side pipes like this, and then they would cap them, and they'd run a full exhaust inside so Johnny Law didn't bother them. So on this car, we're going to utilize that idea. I'm going to build these little sneaky side pipes. What that does is it gets me out around the battery. You can see, it's hard to see, but back right behind that pipe, or tube rather, is the battery. So by me putting it out at that angle, it got us out around the tube. I made a little mount that threads just a little nut I TIG to the tube, and then a bolt, an original hole in the frame you can bolt down and hang the tube. So with that tube going out like that, then I can put a sneaky right behind the battery. I can come out at a 90-degree angle with a tube that will run in and run full exhaust with some little glass packs or steel pack mufflers. And then if someone ever wanted to uncork it, we'll do like a square nut in the back like I did on the Roadster pickup, and when it's all painted black and done, it'll look period correct, I think. So Steve was trying to get ahead while I had visitors and started mounting the radiators. So Dick's Radiator did this for us. They do these all the time, do a great job. The tough thing with his job is he gets an old, nearly 100-year-old radiator, and then he has to try and fill in the blanks. So the fan on a 32 Ford is really long, has a really long neck, and is very close to the radiator. When you start fitting all these pieces together, it's dangerously close. When we did the DeLorean car over there, it was scary how close it was, but once it's all together, it works perfectly. So this is no different, but what we're running into is the angle. So he just followed the angle that this radiator had originally, and who knows if it was recored at some other time in its life, and with the fan, it is just coming out at the wrong angle. So that's a problem. What we also ran into is the power gen that we got. Speedway sells, somebody's obviously making this, but for Speedway, but there's like an aluminum pulley they make that's threaded so you can put a fan on for an early style car like this. But since we're using an earlier flathead, I guess the alignment is a little different. Something's not quite right because this pulley is too far in, it needs to be out. So we need to, basically, I think what we're going to do is shorten this fan just a little bit so that it solves multiple problems. We're going to solve this problem. We're going to try and get this pulley. I'm either going to machine a spacer or do something to get this pulley to go out so our belts line up, which will require even more shortening here. So I think we're going to fix the belt problem, then we're going to take this off. I'm going to probably part it in the lathe and then put it back together and true it up on the lathe at least, and then weld it back together. So this is just the stuff you run into. All the pieces should work together, but
right, yeah, and that's after slotting the radiator, radiator mounts and moving the rods back and forth, trying to get everything straight, and then it's
still wrong.
It didn't work anyhow.
Yeah, so we ended up, it was very close before we put before we started getting the radiator sitting at like where it's like vertical. For the most part, we were like, oh, if we just slot the holes in the feet of the radiator just a little bit and slide it forward, that'll give us our clearance at the fan. Well, we got our clearance, but then we were running into this tube up here, so we've already had a lot of things. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. I don't even know if it's that pulley. This Edelbrock intake we had was actually machined so that the generator was sitting at like an angle, and I don't know if the way that they made those slots for, maybe it was for 59 AB, it put the generator forward just a tiny bit, I don't know, or I'm sorry, back just a little bit. We don't really know. There's so much new and old parts going on, I'm gonna have to work around it. So that's where we're at. So we're gonna take this off. We're gonna I was at first gonna send this back to Chris at Dick's Radiator and get him to move this neck, but we realized that the belt's not lining up. So we got multiple problems here. So we're gonna try and address that. This was supposed to be a simple project, and
just throw the radiator
Just throw the radiator in, put some hoses on, fill it with coal, it'll be awesome. Not so much. So take it apart, and we're probably going to use the welder and the lathe for these bolt-on parts. Great.
Oh yeah.
All right, today is Tuesday, Wednesday? Wednesday. So I'm working on the exhaust on the ruined Roadster, Green 32. We were doing a lot of modifications, putting the radiator in and getting it all fit. And the fan to fit was a huge nightmare, and I ended up having to machine all kinds of parts and shorten a fan, do all kinds of stuff. But everything's good, it jives now. Steve's also, while helping me with that, also has been working on this little Model A engine. So we got this in Florida. I found this in Florida in a shed at a property that we bought a bunch of stuff from. And it's a pretty cool Model A engine. It's got a Winfield head on it. Dual 81 carbs with a, I forget what brand, Burns intake on it. It looks pretty cool, looks decent. It turned over by hand. It's taken us a while because we don't have a ton of stock Model A mechanical stuff in the stash. So we
had no idea what to do.
Yeah, and we're just we haven't really done a lot of stock Model A stuff. So we had to borrow a flywheel from a friend, and I forget what else. Cap and rotor and stuff. Steve's been troubleshooting for a while now with the ignition system, so we were not getting sparks. So changing out the condenser and a bunch of stuff. When we activated the points, it wasn't getting spark. And even after putting a brand new condenser in it, still no spark. And Steve luckily was arcing the screwdriver trying to get it to do something inside at the points, and he realized that it was arcing off of the post where the spring is, where the points move. Took it all apart, and inside the spring and also that post, which is where the wire connects to, it's like the junction where the condenser and wire and the wire from the coil connect. That post was all rusty from sitting because this thing sat with no coil, no cap and rotor on it for quite a while. And even though it was in a shed, just the moisture and humidity in Florida, it got rusty. So we have spark now to the plugs, and it looks a little crazy because we got a condenser, because we didn't have a Model A condenser sitting around. So the condenser might be okay, but we just have that one sitting out there with a coil and on and on and on. So we're going to try spraying some starting fluid inside and see if we can get it to make noise, and then we will hook our little gas tank up and go further. But we just want to make sure that it will even make noise. Open them so it goes down in. All right, go ahead. Oh.
Stick around over.
That won't help.
No, that won't.
How long was that hanging on?
I'm not sure. I just saw it bouncing around there.
Okay. That is combustion.
Yes, it is. Ready?
Sure. Hey, that sounds a lot better.
It does. That smells like starter fluid.
Let's use some.
I think it's time for the gasoline.
Let's try some gas and see if we make it work.
Yeah, that's gonna work way better.
It just. Less because it's cranking.
Ready?
Yep. I would say that's all that starter fluid and oil and
every other day. Every mouse turd that was in that engine for the last 70 years just went up in smoke.
Oh boy, that's some oil too. That's
yeah. Oh yeah, there was some of that in there.
Well, we don't have to worry about mosquitoes for a couple days.
That was some Marvel mystery oil, some normal oil, some gas, some starter fluid.
The camera's not even picking up how bad it is.
Holy
that was a thick one.
Try to tell where reverse.
Yeah.
That's a valid issue.
Yeah. I've driven that a bunch and I have trouble finding reverse sometimes. Oh boy.
That's good.
So torquey.
Yeah. He's used to those Mercedes diesels.
Yeah, I totally forgot to tell you where reverse was. Just leave it in.
Careful, you smell fuel.
Sound like that's all I need.
We didn't really adjust the cars. They might be, they might be a little on the lean side. Yeah, but exhaust leak. Down there.
Sounds like it's somewhere here.
You should be able to feel it.
It's on this back cylinder.
You might need a second gasket or crank it down.
Hell yeah.
A lot of these old headers like this that were done back in the day, they didn't fixture them when they welded them. So the flanges get
Hey,
older.
the kit came with 7 gaskets. That's what it was for.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out what I did with that extra gasket.
I got it. water leaking out of every, out of the block or anything like that?
No, it's just the water pump at this point. It even almost stopped out of the water neck there where it was cracked.
Yeah.
Where it was
So
repaired.
It sure sounded like it was healthy. I don't know. It didn't sound.
It's gotta have something. 297 or 2 strawberries.
A lot of guys run that. 281s, they're small.
Oh, that's true.
Guys will run them on bangers. But the way it was idling and the throttle response was.
That wasn't stock.
It seemed more than just one carburetor. Now this is a higher compression head.
Yep.
All right, so today is Friday, and for once we're going to get out of the shop. It's been a busy week. I've been working on the green 32 Roadster, doing exhaust and fan modifications, and we've had a lot of visitors this week, oddly enough. And so this weekend is in Macungie at the park where we were just at for Gasket Goons. They have the Antique Truck Club of America has the truck show, and it is phenomenal. There is like, I don't know, how many trucks? Maybe?
500.
500 to 1,000 trucks, from half tons all the way up to big rigs that are pulling trailers with other antique trucks on the back of it. It's pretty wild. If you've never been, you definitely got to go. So I started to try and do a tradition with my father, because it's Father's Day weekend every year, and we go with my dad, and I go and we walk around, because my dad used to be a big truck mechanic or a big equipment mechanic, and he remembers a lot of the old Mack trucks and stuff working on them. It's a lot of fun. But this year, nice thing is we have my nephew Evan is out of school, and he is freed up that he said he could go along. So it's kind of going to be fun that the three of us can do something like that together and go walk around and look at old trucks. So we're going to go to Macungie. Mike's going to go to Macungie with his son Nate, which will be fun. It's a whole IronTrap family event. It's pretty good. So we're gonna walk around, look at some truck stuff, check out the swap meet, see what else is going on. I have the gutter guys showing up today, which will be pretty cool. Get the gutters on the new building. Steve's gonna stay back at the shop and get some work done on the Roadster, and who knows what else is gonna happen today, but we're gonna try and have some fun and get some work done as well. This is the stuff we come to the Ford truck, or the big truck show for.
What do you want one of them for?
Because it would be awesome to move parts in, put a diesel in it. It's so cool. Just park it in my driveway.
Probably has a diesel.
No.
Yeah, I guess. They cleaned them up and brought them here.
That's a fire. Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay.
Can we go look at those? Oh, yeah. 2 fire trucks.
Oh yeah, that is a fire truck. A 37 and a 36. Hard at work here at the warehouse today, right? Watch where you're going. Go ahead, take it right on. Good, hop out from behind there. Ugh, you ready?
Yeah.
Which way should we go?
Up.
What floor?
2.
All right, so end of the day, we had a crazy week. We got to do a bunch of car shows and a lot of fun, and we got a lot of work done this week. Luckily, having our Ryan is our high school young guy that was help Mike get a bunch of work done. Steve and I got a bunch of stuff done in the shop, and then of course we now have gutters. You can only see this one on the front here, but
You can see all the downspouts.
yeah. So we have gutters now, which is a step. We're waiting on concrete. That is the huge thing that we're waiting on. Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe next week we'll get that done. But it's cool to get another thing done on the building. We got a garage door, we got gutters, and we got the green 32 Roadster is almost ready to start. Week kind of drug out a little bit with all the stuff I was juggling. I didn't get the exhaust quite done for this video, but we'll have a future video. We're going to be running that thing with the new exhaust they built and the radiator in and all that stuff. Mike got his car started this week, yeah, which is awesome. Successful with exhaust and plug wires. We got that. Steve got that little banger engine running that we're going to be selling. So it was kind of a we don't realize how much goes on till we shoot these week in a life of, because we do so much that we don't always film. So
it's just a normal week for us.
Normal week for us. So been a lot of fun and a lot of progress as always. So thank you guys for following along. Appreciate it. Catch you later.
What'd you get done this week?
Hanging out and camping.